If you can't stop spending money, give me 2 minutes of your scroll. I'm going to explain why. It boils down to the fact that you continue to give your stuff and your money a job that isn't really its job. See, when you buy something, you're not just buying a thing, a product. You're buying a future state of feeling. I need this new serum to make me feel confident. I need those injections to feel beautiful. I need all these clear bins to organize my stuff in to feel more in control. So the formula we're seeing here is I need blank in order to feel blank. And there are endless variations of this, but in every variation, you are abdicating responsibility to your money and to your stuff to do a job that really you should be doing because you are trying to use spending and stuff, something in your external environment, to fill an internal void. And the problem is it's never going to work. No amount of stuff is going to compensate for the fact that you just really don't like yourself that much. No amount of clear bins are going to compensate for the fact that you feel totally out of control in your own life. And no amount of beauty products are ever going to be able to solve for your inner self-hatred and self-loathing. And instead of coming to this realization that you're playing a game that can't be won, you just think it wasn't the right top. It's not this serum, it's got to be that serum. It just wasn't that planner, but this planner is going to be the one that changes my life. And so you just keep going out and buying more and more and more, trying to solve your internal problems with external solutions. Now, coming to this realization does not mean that you have to stop buying new things that you want, but it does mean that you can step into a place of power and start spending your money from a place of radical responsibility by recognizing that the worthiness, the sense of control, the confidence, the self-acceptance, fill in the blank, is your responsibility. It is an inside job. It's not the job of your money or your stuff to do that for you.
Hi, if you're new here, my name is Loveth. This is Money Conversations, where we know wealth is not the flex, management is. Listen, it is the end of the first month of the year. And for those of us who didn't know by January, it's even critical that we attack this. But even if you didn't do a know by January, if you want to do better with your money this year, if you want to control your spending and better manage your money, it is critical that we understand why we spend in the first place. Because just saying no, it's not going to work. It works in January, it doesn't work in March. If you don't understand why you personally spend, you're not going to curb it, and 2026 would just be just like 2025. I had an aha moment when I realized that what we as Americans contribute to the global economy is our spending. Realizing that our part of the global economy is us spending, and that also our GDP is our spending, made me understand no one else cares for your wallet except you. Everything out there is trying to get you to part with your money. So wake up and pay attention.
Here is one of the biggest triggers that is going to catapult you into spending, my friend. Let's talk about it. I'm Bree, your neuroscience-based money healer and coach. When I gave up shopping for a year, I've done that 3 times now. Mind-blowing. Friend, there is one big realization that popped up for me that was a huge aha, that was a key to helping me unlock my shopping addiction. It's not sexy. Friend, when I gave up shopping, you know what I discovered? This is the trigger. I had a lot of time on my hands. You know what that means? I was bored a lot. So friend, when you find yourself wanting to go purchase something or distracting yourself, you're on the apps, you're checking your emails, you're surfing the webs for internet sales, whatever it is, I want you to ask yourself if you're bored. Here's the thing. Being bored is actually a really good energetic space to be in, but most of us don't even know how the freak to sit in it. You live in a world that tells you you should be busy all the time, that is delivering distractions to you 24/7. Here's the challenge for you, my friend. When you feel this urge to shop, I want you to pause, and I want you to set your timer for 90 seconds and just sit in the gray.
In fact, I looked this up. We have a boredom epidemic. We've gotten so used to everything else helping us out and stimulating us constantly that we don't know how to be bored or how to sit in boredom and understand this too shall pass, because our brains have been rewired, because it wasn't wired that way before, but our constant attachment to this and the lights and the brights and the sounds just constantly being stimulated, that when we have nothing, we can't function. I said I was going to read more this year, And I've actually seen how difficult it is to just be still and read. It's crazy. We're so used to sounds that not having sounds, just read it with your inner voice. It's like we've gotten so used to stuff going on constantly that the moment we're bored, we must do something. We must buy and acquire something. This is one of the reasons why we spend. This is one of the reasons why we're constantly buying on TikTok Shop or Amazon, or we have to get something. It's facts.
I kind of have a shopping addiction to the point where I go shopping, I get the stuff, I get my dopamine rush, and then I have to return everything because I realize I didn't even need anything. Or sometimes like I'll order stuff online and like I'll be so excited to get it and I'll be like checking when it's gonna get there, and as soon as I get it, I'm like, oh, like it's here and I actually didn't want it. I know it's so bad and like I don't want to increase my carbon footprint. Like that's really not what I want to do. I don't want to be someone who just consumes and is easily influenced. I think I heard of like using up all of your stuff before you buy the next thing. So like wearing my sweaters until they are like ripped up, you know, wearing my shoes until they no longer work. I realized like I spend so much money on things I don't need, and I spend hours like kind of adding things to my cart, and in the end like I'll just remove everything from my cart, or like I'll spend hours adding things to my cart, they'll be delivered to my house, and then I realized I didn't even need them, and I just wasted hours of my life on shopping. And it's so bad because like yesterday I spent like probably 4 hours looking for something and trying to convince myself like, do I want to buy it? It's like a Black Friday deal. Like I was so tempted just because of the lower prices. And I realized I don't need any of that. And when I realized that, it was already like 10 p.m. I had to go to sleep. I pretty much wasted my day and I didn't spend time with my dogs and my family. And I was like, why did I do that? So I think that's just something that I'm gonna be working on. And if you guys could give me like tips or like de-influence me from anything.
You know, that's a great litmus test. How many of us have ordered from Amazon? And I'm even looking at mine right there. We order from Amazon like we need it today. It shows up and, you know, we don't even open it. It sits there for several days, right? We don't even open it because really the fun and the dopamine rush is the thought of getting it. Ooh, I'm going to get something. And you may not even realize that's what you're doing. You're ordering just for the excitement of something new. Throughout the year, there are moments in the year where the urge to spend, and when I spend, then it's you know, then I'm good with not spending for a good amount of time, and then here I go buying back to back to back. I realized that a while ago, you know, and that's because life is still. As a stay-at-home mom, this is my office, this is my home, this is my everything. And sometimes it's like you just want something new, something exciting, because buying is so nearby, you know, it's so accessible. I can easily buy and get something new and get something, there's something exciting happening. When you realize that and you get into that, I know when I get into that zone, say come July or come September, and I'm able to control it because I know, no, this is us just wanting something new. How else can we make life exciting without spending, without buying?
Here's what I would do differently if I had to recover from my shopping addiction again. Number one, I would go volunteering. I used to spend so much time, this was during my first job, so much time just like shopping in the mall after work. So I would throw myself into service instead. The second thing I would do is read Status Anxiety by Elaine de Botton. This book broke my brain and helped me see things in a totally new way about status and why we like to climb the ladder and how addicting it is. I would have read it much sooner in my life. Third thing I would do differently is realize that it's not that I'm undisciplined or that I'm weak. It's that I live in a world made of marketing and I'm seriously over-marketed to. We all are. I used to blame myself for failing my budgets, failing my no-buys, and then revenge spend like crazy. And it wasn't until I realized, no, wait, the average person sees 4,000 to 10,000 advertisements a day. The problem is I live in this world where marketing messages are all around us, and I was part of the problem. I worked in marketing. I think the fourth thing I would have done is not work in marketing. I was flavoring the Kool-Aid and drinking the Kool-Aid. I thought that because I worked in marketing, I was somehow above the system. There is no being above the system. There is no transcending the cool girl style ladder. I am glad for the skills that marketing taught me, and I'm trying to put them to good use these days. But if I had to do it all over again, I would have gotten out of marketing much earlier. The last thing I would have done is I would have gotten myself a money coach. I had a lot of financial trauma growing up. It created a lot of anxiety, and when there was money, we would go out and spend it on status objects.
Once you buy something, you have it. That seems really simple and obvious, but like a lot of people don't really grasp that concept. What I'm saying is that once you buy something, you have to find a place to put it. You have to find a way to take care of it. You have to find a use for it. You have to find a way to dispose of it once you're done using it. People don't think about that. They just buy it with no consideration for any of those things. Then they wonder why they feel so overwhelmed when it comes time to clean their house or to organize things, because they have so many things. They're like, I don't know where to put this. I don't know how to categorize it. You have to think of that before you buy something. There have been so many things where I have wanted to buy it and I've been thinking about it for a little while, and I'm like, wow, that would be so fun to buy, or that seems like it'd be so cool to own and use or whatever. But then I ask myself, like, would I use this for more than 2 weeks? Would I be able to clean this easily and regularly? How would I dispose of this? I have this whole list of questions that I ask myself before buying things. And there have been so many things that I have just not purchased because it didn't fit with the list of questions I asked myself.
3 ways to heal from consumerism that actually work. And this is coming from a former shopaholic. The first thing a lot of people try to do is immediately declutter, try to start under consuming and become a minimalist, and I would advise against this. Unless your current situation is extremely unhealthy and it is absolutely necessary to start decluttering, because you need to make peace with the reasons you bought the things in the first place. You bought the bag because you thought it would make you look more put together. You bought the new viral skincare product because you were feeling left out. You bought the Labubu because, well girl, I don't know why you bought that, but anyway. But healing from consumerism means you have to forgive your past self. That is step 1 of overcoming consumerism. Another thing I would tell someone that's trying to heal from consumerism is start naming your patterns, not your products. You don't need a cart cleanse or a no buy month. You need to ask yourself, what emotion is trying to speak to me through my spending? Do you shop when you feel left out and you're scrolling on social media and see all these other people living a better life than you and you feel like you're behind? Do you add things to your cart when you're bored and hope that package on its way notification is going to fill this void within you and give you a new purpose? Me AF. I used to call myself an impulse buyer, but it wasn't an impulse. It wasn't random. It was me doing exactly what I already knew would make me feel better. And here's the good news. Healing from consumerism does not mean you can never shop again. It just means that you now shop with intention and not insecurity. Make your life feel luxurious without buying anything. We have been sold the idea that luxury equals a price tag, and that is not the case. And what I mean by this is if you romanticize your life through purchases, you will never feel satisfied. You're always going to want more. If you romanticize your life through gratitude and being present, then congrats, you're already rich. Again, I am not coming from a place of judgment at all. I am just telling you what I wish someone would have told me when I was going through this exact same thing. And healing from consumerism is not going to happen overnight. I absolutely have moments of weakness, and that's okay. As long as you're more conscious and intentional about it, you've healed. And I'm proud of you.
So attack the reason for the spending, or else you will end up spending even more than you would have if you didn't do the no buy January or no buy any month. And even if you didn't do no buy January, if you don't attack the reason for spending, this year is going to be the same as last year. You can have your goals, put it on a board, vision board it, fast over it, pray over it. Okay, prayer does have power. Yeah, but this is probably your answer to prayer is deal with the reason for your spending. So think, what makes you spend? What makes you, be honest, reflect, think, what makes you spend? I know what my issue is, and I've dealt with that. What makes you spend? Attack that, get a solution for that, and I can promise you this year will be a lot better. You know what to do if you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed, hello, excuse you, do it. All right, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.